All right, so I decided to do a voiceover for my college advice series just because it was easier for me, and like finding the time to like get on camera and stuff like that and get cute for y'all. I just didn't feel like doing that, so I just figured it would be easier to do a voiceover. So that's what this is. Now, on this episode, I'm going to be talking about financial aid, student loans, and kind of like how classes work and stuff like that, and managing your money, which I guess is kind of considered like, or could be considered like the boring stuff. But the only reason why I really want to talk about this is because I've seen other people's videos on YouTube, and before I got to college, I was so eager to get there, and I didn't really know what to expect. So I went on YouTube and I was on the internet and was kind of like listening to everybody else's stories and advice, but they were missing some key information that I think that y'all really need to know. Um, the first thing that I want to talk about is financial aid and student loans because I didn't know shit about how none of that worked. And when I was there, it's July, so y'all should have probably filled out your applications for subsidized, unsubsidized loans and like parent plus loans and stuff like that. So you really need to go and like do your research and know how and understand what certain loans are, pretty much what you're applying for, whether your parents are paying for stuff or not. Because I can't tell you how many videos I done watched, and people will be like, they'll look up and after they done graduated and they've been like, oh my God, I owe like a hundred and something $1,000 in student loans. And I'm like, bitch, how the fuck did you not know that you owed that much in student loans? Was you not checking your balance? Because I know I do. Do I want to look at the number? Hell no, I don't want to look at the number, but that's not the point. You need to be checking and knowing how much you owe and stuff. So that way, once you graduate and they start charging your ass and taking that money out of your account, you know what it's for and you know how much you owe. But I digress. And when I first got on campus, I was I'm trying to think what had happened. Something had happened with like my balance and like the stuff was supposed to come out automatically and it wasn't. And I didn't know, I wasn't understanding like why it was acting like that or why it wasn't like running smoothly and why I kept having like late fees and they kept emailing me saying your stuff isn't going through. So I was like, what the hell? So I kept emailing and like calling, which that was like my first mistake because with especially with PV, the way that y'all be complaining on Twitter, baby, they financial aid is something else. But my school isn't like that. So, but still, like you have to go up there and be in their face, which is like part of being an adult. Emailing and calling people sometimes only goes so far. Like you got to be off in them folks' face and see what the hell is going on. Ask a lot of questions, keep records of all of your stuff, keep records of them emails. Don't be deleting everything, especially when it comes to stuff like that. Because if they fuck up and they get something wrong and they like, well, the only way we can fix this is if we have our evidence or whatever like that. You have all of your stuff in line, so make sure you keep your records, know how much you need or owe in student loans at all times, and always ask questions. If you don't understand something, I'm quick to be like, hold on, what that mean? Or I will go on Google and try to figure out what something means in a quick hot second. So don't just be up there not knowing what they talking about. The next thing that I want to talk about is creating a schedule that works for you as far as classes go. For my school, I actually had to come up there for like orientation and do the registration. So I was like in their face, even though I showed up like 2 hours late, but I still made it there for the registration part. But when it comes to like first semester, use first semester as a test to kind of see like what works for you and what doesn't. Because for me, I was taking 16 credits. They wouldn't allow us to take no more than that when we were first registering, which now, if I wanted to do that, they would let me, but I was taking 16. And I could do it, and it wasn't hard at all, but it was just, hell, I don't even think I did have time to go to the gym, but I had time to go to the gym, but I just didn't really have time to like hang out with friends, especially during finals. Maybe that's what was the problem. I was trying to do all of this during finals week. But I don't know, finals week, bitch, I was slammed. I'm sorry. I was working my ass off. But other than that, like during the regular semester, I was fine. Like I actually was able to handle like my workload and everything like that. But when it came to second semester, this actually ended up happening by accident. But second semester, again, my financial aid shit was not right, and I had registered for classes but I didn't register for all of them, so I ended up taking 16 credits, not 16, 13 credits by accident. And It actually ended up working off in my favor because I was really discouraged and I was like low key pissed at the time because I missed like the deadline to register and all of that. So I was like, I was pissed because I'm like, I wanted to take the same amount that I had taken first semester, but I was taking 13. And the reason why it ended up working off in my favor is because I was doing music. And I really started doing music the second semester, like in January, right when we had got back. And if I was still taking 16 credits, I would not have had time to focus on music and stuff like that. And I'm saying all of this to say like when you go in and you create your schedule cuz after first semester you can go and like do your schedule yourself, and when you go and you do that, unless your parents say otherwise, you have to tailor your schedule to what fits you and like what your habits are. And I know with me, taking 13 credits is what works for me, especially with me doing music. Like I need time to write and produce not only for myself, but I'm also producing on other people's projects. So I need the extra time. And then too, I just need like the extra time to have to myself to like go to the gym and hang out with friends and just if I want to not do something on a Saturday, then I can do that and just kind of let my mind wander. Which first semester I didn't have as much time to do that, and there I've even had friends who have taken like 19 credits, and I was like, I don't know, that's a lot. One thing that that situation has taught me is that just because you can does not mean that you should. And when I say that, I mean just because you can take 19 credits and you can do a lot of homework and get a lot of stuff done, that's fine and dandy or whatever. But just because you can handle all of that or you can get all of it done does not mean that you should take on the extra stress of doing that, because a lot of you will do that or try to do that, and then you're gonna feel like dropping out. You don't have time to hang out with friends, you don't have time to unwind and just let your mind wander and stuff like that. So don't do that. I understand you wanting to graduate early and stuff like that, I get it, but don't, why add the extra stress? Just don't. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is managing money. And I saved, like a lot of y'all, I was working over the summer and I was saving like every penny I had just because I wanted to make sure that I was going to be comfortable and not have to work my first semester or like my first year of college. I just really wanted to focus on that rather than like stressing about money. So I worked my ass off to make sure that I was going to be okay and not have to ask my parents for money. Now, again, use first semester or like those first couple of weeks at least as a tester. What I did is I looked at how much I spend monthly. I know that I go to the store about 2 or 3 times a month. So actually, it might be less than that. I would say like twice a month. Because with the meal plan, I made sure that I went to the dining hall more so that way I wasn't eating up all my snacks, which is another thing that y'all need to be careful about. Don't be sitting off in your dorm room eating up all your snacks because you lazy, too lazy to take your ass down to the dining hall or whatever. Because that's what I did, and it kind of hurt me, so I learned to stop doing that. Just swipe the card and keep it moving. Take your ass down to the dining hall and eat, okay? I would spend about $50 to $60 on everything that I needed at the store, and I would spend around 40 to 40, 45 and up, I would say, on getting my nails done. And like, I would say like 50 more dollars on like extra stuff, like going to the club. I don't know, like if I saw something on Amazon that I wanted. So I'm gonna say like my max that I would spend is like $200 a month. So, and then when you do go to the store, separate what you need and what you don't need. And how I do that is I literally write it down. Like this summer, I knew that one thing that I needed was to go ahead and get my credit going, which is another. I'm glad I brought that up. Another thing that you need to focus on is as a college student is building your credit. Bitch, when I tell you we are living in a world where credit is becoming more and more important. Even employers are like checking your credit score before they hire you. Some of them are, and they will flat out deny your ass. And especially like being a black male in this society, we don't need to be giving them another reason to deny our asses. So okay, just make sure everybody that's listening to this that is a college student and is getting ready to go to college, get a credit card. I applied for three of them and they denied me, which was very odd because they tell you in high school as soon as you turn 18, or like they'll be having little cards and stuff that they'll send you in the mail and try to get you to activate it and all of this. And I was waiting on my damn credit card to come in the mail to, I was waiting on somebody to offer me something like help me ruin my credit, okay? Because I didn't want to pay a deposit for a damn credit card for a piece of plastic, okay? But I just had to go ahead and pay the $200 deposit on the credit card that I wanted. If you, I can't remember what the credit card is. I just know it's through Discover, and I think it's a student credit card, and it's one of the best ones that you can get. I know this because I've done my research on it before I went and got a credit card. It's one of the best. What is that thing called? Interest rates that you can get. So, and it's one of the best credit cards for building your credit, and I think it has like the lowest deposit that you put off in there. So, what the difference is between a secured credit card and like a regular credit card that you like apply for as a secured one is the one that you put the deposit down on, and the deposit is your limit. And if you are going to get the credit card, after you put down the deposit, like I said, the deposit is your limit. You don't spend more than, I would say, like $50 because that's bad. I don't know why, but I just know it's bad, so don't do it. Uh, what else? Yeah, the $200 deposit is kind of going to hurt you because I don't like spending large amounts of money in like short periods of time because $200 was like a lot for me, especially for a piece of damn plastic. Because there'll be, I'm like the type of person where I will save my money. Like I just don't like spending money like that. So if you gave me like $5,000 to spend, I would make that shit stretch. Okay, I just don't spend money like that. So it was like a little it's an investment, and I know I'll thank myself later, but if you are able to put down that deposit on that credit card, get the credit card. Now back to separating what you need and don't need. Literally write down the stuff that you need and is like a straight up necessity, and separate it from the shit that you don't need and that you won't, because it's a lot of stuff that you won't, and there's going to be a lot more stuff that you want than you need. So just write it down, and like visualizing it and seeing it on paper will actually help you, and then writing down how much the stuff costs. Because I did that and it helped me manage my money a lot better. And that's gonna be it for this podcast, not podcast, for this voiceover for this video. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this one. The next subject that I'll be talking about in my next episode is going to be college partying. So stay tuned for that because it'll be coming out real, real soon. And I will see y'all in my next one.